Airline passengers will soon no longer be able to board domestic flights without first showing photo ID. The ABC understands the government will move to increase passenger checks, mirroring what it already is the norm for overseas travel. It comes as states and territory leaders signed off on new counter-terrorism measures, including a national database to allow high-tech facial recognition of suspects. Here's political editor Andrew Probyn.
It's being billed as the biggest sporting event in Australia this decade.
It begins with the dream.
Having 1 billion pairs of eyes on the Gold Coast next year has sharpened the mind of one premier.
And I want to ensure that the Commonwealth Games are the safest ever.
Anastasia Palaszczuk wants a national database to allow facial recognition operational before the Games start in April. And she thinks Queenslanders would be comfortable about CCTV using the technology to scan crowds.
Yes, I think they would be, because this is about stopping any prospect of terrorism.
Fellow premiers arriving for a special counter-terrorism meeting with the PM were similarly determined.
The states are in violent agreement on this.
We live in very uncertain times.
We are only as strong as our weakest link.
And it's not just terror suspects whose image would be fed into a national database, but potentially anyone suspected of criminal activity.
It would be unforgivable to not make changes like that when the technology is available, the competence, the know-how and the safeguards are available.
Well, it doesn't involve surveillance or indeed mass surveillance.
But there are already calls for limits to its future application.
We're going to draw lines after terrorists and murderers, but not go all the way down to parking fine violators.
But ask experts about a more obvious security weak spot, and it's our airports. Passengers can board domestic flights and check in luggage without showing photo ID. The gap is on the government's radar, and the ABC understands it could move to tighten checks before the end of the year. Introduction of self-service check-in kiosks and bag drops have helped keep costs down, but the foiled plot to bring down an airliner flying out of Sydney Airport in August saw a renewed focus on security and caused long delays for travellers. The cost of any increased security measures would likely be passed on to passengers. Andrew Probyn, ABC News, Canberra.